I've helped collectors buy and sell millions in rare collectibles. The sale prices in this video are all backed by real data from top auction houses like Heritage. I know what makes coins and currency valuable, and today I'll break it down for you. We are going over some incredibly rare and valuable red bills in this video that are selling online for a lot of money. Now, let me just clear the air really quickly. These red seal banknotes are called legal tender notes, and they are 100% genuine, authentic, United States issued paper money. The red seal on the legal tender notes symbolizes that the notes are backed by the US Treasury rather than by gold or silver reserves. This contrasts with gold certificates with a yellow seal and silver certificates with blue seals. After 1971, red seal notes ceased production, but many were stored in vaults or forgotten about in drawers. Entire hordes of pristine notes have occasionally surfaced, offering collectors a glimpse into these high-graded examples. Let's start off with this first note. It's a 1928 $5 legal tender star note that sold for $10,200. So 1928 was the first year of issue for these small size legal tender bills. The star at the start of the serial number here means that it's a replacement note. So when the US is producing paper money, even to this day, what they'll do is they'll produce a large run of star notes to replace any errors or mistakes that happen during the printing process. This is standard procedure, and the reason why they're more rare and valuable is because there is simply less of them produced. It comes down to supply and demand. This 1928B $5 legal tender bill sold for $10,200, $13,200. Now, right off the cuff, you can see that the condition is clearly different than the previous note. Even though this banknote was graded at a very fine 20, it still fetched a hefty premium. So this one is a 1928E. The letter there after the date is different than the previous note. Now, it may not seem like a big deal, but it does matter. Sometimes there are even less of them produced in specific runs. So 1928E $5 star notes are simply going to be more rare and valuable. Once again, $13,200 it sold for. So they also made $100 bill legal tender notes. This one sold for $13,200, but this one is a bit of an exception. If you did not notice already, there are a few areas on the front and back of this bill that say specimen. So 1966 $100 specimen legal tender note. These are really cool because they were never meant to go out into circulation. The general purpose of a specimen note when it comes to paper money is going to be the US produced them in order to give them to banks around the world to say, hey, this is an example of a genuine banknote. If you come across anything that looks weird, you can compare it to this specimen note. Today, there's a huge collector premium on a banknote like this. One thing that you'll also notice on specimen notes a lot of the time is the serial number is going to be bogus. And by that, I mean it's going to be either all zeros or it's going to be an ascending ladder going from 1 to 8 consecutively. Very cool note, very high grade at a 64, not a single fold on this $100 bill. Once again, $13,200. Wow, this is pretty cool. $19,200. There are 100 notes here, $5 each with a face value of $500. So you can see a bank teller likely wrote on the pack saying it's a consecutive series of 1953C notes. Really cool. I like how the band is also red. On the back of the band, you can actually see when it was likely picked up in 1964. So someone held onto this $500 face value pack, and over time they held onto it, the value increased, and they were able to sell it for $19,200. That is a huge return on your investment. All right, $19,200 for this 1928 $5 star note. This one does not have a letter after the 1928, which is fine, but I mean the grade is just very, very high here. 67, that is a really tough grade to achieve. How you get the high grade? Let me break it down really quickly. So from the grade of 60 to 70, it mainly all comes down to the centering. On the lower ends of the 60s, if there's like handling, things like that, that can influence it. But if you have no folds on your bill, you'll automatically at least be a 60 grade. More than likely, you'll be a 63 or 64. How you get the higher grades is going to come down to the centering. So look at the white margins on the front and the back of your bill. Are they centered nicely? Are they all equal? If they are, you've got a high grade note. If they're not, then you have a lower graded condition note, unfortunately. So the better centered your bill is, which happens at the manufacturer, the better the value and condition is going to be. Once again, at $19,200. $26,400 for this 1928E $2 bill. $2 bills are generally not worth too much money. However, this example is extremely rare and valuable. Now you can see the centering is not good. We were talking about centering on the previous note. You can see the top to bottom, left to right margins, they're all out of whack, which is unfortunate unfortunate because if the centering on this bill was better, it would easily have brought $30,000 to $40,000. I can nearly guarantee that. So this is a star note once again. These legal tender red seal star notes are generally more challenging to come by for collectors, especially in these very high grades. So if you come across a red seal $2 bill, look out for the 1928E star note because that's one that's going to be really rare and valuable. If you enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button and we will see you guys in the next one.